1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. We're back with gospel this week. We're going to do the classic hymn, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms, in the key of G. I've got a solo worked up for the verse and the chorus. We're going to keep the verse pretty straightforward, just playing the pretty much basic straight melody, just adding some basic up and down picking. But for the chorus, we're going to work on doing some basic position shifts and adding some basic bluegrass double stops. So we're going to practice shifting from first position up to third position and then back down, which is a must-know double stop shift for bluegrass musicians. You hear it all the time in fiddle playing. If you've ever listened to any of those old Flatt and Scruggs recordings, their fiddle players would always do that great shift, and it's a great way to add harmonies to a basic melody, and that's what we're going to break down. I'm going to break down both solos note for note, and then also show you a bunch of backup I would do, so how to do basic two-finger chords, how to do basic bluegrass chop chords. I will also break down all of that. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, mikeheadingmusic.com, and grab the full-length lesson. You'll get access to watch all the videos, and you can download the tabs and the practice tracks. All right, here's Leaning on the Everlasting Arms in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down this beginner arrangement to Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. Let me play the first 5 measures, and we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Let's do that a few times. 1. One more time, real slow. 1. So we're going to start with our pickup in measure 1. We're going to start on beat 2, so beat 1 is a rest, a quarter note rest. And we're going to hit a downstroke on the open D string. And for this lesson, I'd really recommend following the pick direction below the tab. You'll see the pick direction. So the staple looking symbols are the downstrokes. The V's are the upstrokes. So really important to follow that. We're going to do downstrokes on all the quarter notes, on all the down beats, and upstrokes on all the ands, so on all the up beats. Okay, so that's really going to help you with the timing of this lesson and just in general with your pick direction. Very, very good rule to follow. Okay, so we're going to hit the open D string on beat 2, and then we're going to do 8th notes, down, up, open D string again, and then 2nd fret on the D string. And then we're going to reach our 3rd finger up to the 5th fret of the D string and play that for beat 4. So we're doing down, down, up, down is our pick direction. We have 1. Let's do that a few times. What I'd also recommend practicing is keeping your 1st finger down when you add that 3rd finger. It's kind of like your insurance policy. Don't resist the urge to lift it up when you do that. Try and keep that down if you can. That's good practice. So we'll go 1. Let's do that a bunch of times. 1. I'll do it a little faster. 1. Okay, so not too hard there. Practice that as many times as you need to. One more time. 1. Then we're going to reach our 1st finger up to the 2nd fret of the A string and play a downstroke. And then do the rest of that measure with 8th notes. So 1 or 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we have 1. That's good practice on feeling how long one measure is. I'll loop measure 2 a few times. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... So not too hard. Just put that down. You can keep your 3rd finger down if you can, or you can lift that up if you need a little bit. If it feels like a big stretch to keep both those down. So let's do measures 1 and 2, real slow. 1. Couple more times. 1. A little faster. 1. And then for measure 3, not too hard, we're going to play 3 quarter notes in a row, so 3 downstrokes. This is going to help ensure that you don't rush through it. So 2nd fret on the A string, open A string, and then back to that 5th fret on the D string, and then do 8th notes one more time on 4 and. And it's pretty much all melody there. The melody is... So we're just filling that up with picking. So let's do that a few times. 1. 1. And then measure 4, we're on a C chord, and this is a good example of playing a note that's outside of the chord. So we're going to play the open A string a bunch of times, so down, and then 8th notes. This is the same timing as measure 2. And then on the last one, we're going to do an open A, and then upstroke on the 2nd fret. And then into measure 5, open A, 5th fret on the D string, and then 2nd fret on the D string twice. These phrases kind of go together, so measures 2 and 3 go together, and then 4 and 5 go together. That's why I'm playing them together. So 4 again is... I'll loop that a few times. So a good example of playing outside of the chord. So we're not playing one of the notes that's actually in the C chord there. We're playing an A note. So let's do the first 5. Here we go. 1. 1 more time. 1. Measure 6, open D string 3 times, and then 2nd fret on the D string, and then open D string twice for 2 quarter notes. And this is what I call the bouncing technique, and this is just a term I made up. You know, you can use it if you like, but basically what I think of is our melody note is the open D string, and then we're going to 1 note higher in the chord in the scale rather than in the scale, 1 note higher in the scale, in this case the 2nd fret on the D string, and we're bouncing off that note. See how we're going from that open D? So that's what I call the bouncing technique. It's very common. We actually did it in measure 4 as well. We went, a lot of times it'll be on the upstroke, so you do, rather than just playing that open D string over and over again, which you could do, but again, adding those little bouncing moves just kind of spices it up a little bit. So that's very common. It's kind of a fiddle or mandolin way to spice up a melody. Again, not always, but a lot of times it's on the upstroke. So that's what we're doing in measure 6. And then we're gonna, in measure 7, 2, 5 on the D string, so 2nd fret, 5th fret, down, up. And then right here, we're going to do that bouncing thing again, except we're going to change strings, but same idea. 5th fret, open A string with an upstroke, and then back to your 5th fret on the D string. So we have... Watch your pick direction carefully there. It's down, up, down, up, down. You could even pretend they're all zeros for a second if you need to. So that's good practice. Changing strings there. And then 1 more open A string. So let's do 7 a few times on its own. So let's do 6 and 7. A couple more times, a little faster. Now, measure 8. This time we're going to go back up to the 2nd fret on the A string. But instead of just playing that note, we're going to slide into it. So we're going to do a 1-2 slide. And this time we're not going to do a down-up pick. You can if you want, but it's good practice to try and have that slide substitute a pick note. So that's what we're doing there. And again, don't slide too quick. And then we're going to keep our down ups going after we slide up. So it's 1 and 2 and. Let's practice that a few times. So you're down here. Use that open A string in measure 7 right here. Because you might have to bring your hand, your left hand, back just a little bit to do that slide. So that's where you use that open A string. And then we're going to do 2 open on the A string. So 2nd fret open, and then back down to the 5th fret. So we have. And then right here, this is measure 9. You're going to slide from 5 to 7 on the D string while playing the 2 middle strings. And you're going to do down, up, down, up. And then you're going to hit the open A string, and then 5th fret on the D string. So you have. Let's do 8 and 9 together. And just don't worry too much about that slide if you play both the strings or if you jump off and just play the A string. You just want to hear the beginning of that slide. And then measure 10. This is